Welcome to the second episode of the Success Sit Down Chaminade's Career Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Tracy, and today I'm very blessed to announce our guest today is Mr. Andrew Mielder. Mr. Miedler, thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely, Zach. Thanks for the invitation. Thanks for putting this together. It's a great thing for you, for the school.
Of course, yeah. We're excited to get into it. For the audience that maybe doesn't know, correct me if I'm wrong, you are the Chief Financial Officer at Edward Jones?
That's right. So the CFO at Edward Jones, and then head of our digital business, head of global delivery, and lead an emerging business as well.
Wow, yeah, and I'd love to cover that, but I think it's fitting to maybe start at the beginning.
Let's do it.
You grew up in a small town in Missouri, correct?
That's right. Grew up in Moberly, Missouri. It's great, just about 30 minutes north of Columbia.
Gotcha. So growing up in that small town, what values do you believe were instilled in you from a young age, maybe with your family, in school? What really helped you? What set you up for success in the future?
Oh, well, growing up in small town Missouri, just north of Columbia, there are a number of things I point to. It was a great community. It was a community that supported one another, that supported the school, supported us as students there. And a few things that I would point to is one is the school. And there was one teacher that stood out that really showed me what it means when a teacher takes an interest to help a student learn something. So it was calculus. It was my math teacher. Calculus it's hard.
Calculus is hard. I'm going through it right now.
Are you?
Tough. Yeah.
Okay. Well, in Moberly, where I grew up, the calculus teacher every night would go to Burger King, and any student that wanted to get help on homework, get help learning the subject matter better, you go out there, you'd spend time with him, and there was always a whole bunch of students out there. And he just taught us the material so well, but also showed us how much teachers could care for their students, which really wants the students to do so well at the same time. But then that math and getting that foundation, it's still with me today, and it's a big part of the foundation of me today. So that was one thing.
Yeah, and that sounds like it instilled within you a drive and a work ethic and perseverance.
Absolutely. I'd point to that too, is, growing up in Moberly, that work ethic, that hard work, I saw it in a couple ways of my parents and my dad. He was the sales manager for a group of radio stations for more than 40 years.
Wow.
He was so long time. So involved in the community, board after board, community involvement after community involvement, showing me of the importance of giving back to the community was instilled in me. But then also you mentioned the hard work. My first job in Moberly, it was mowing yards, but also pumping gas at a full service gas station when they still had those. You pull up, you get your gas filled, your windows washed, tires aired up, all that. It's hard work. But that work ethic has stuck with me throughout, where it's, what I found is anything good, it doesn't happen on its own. It takes dedication and it takes hard work. And I saw that from the very beginnings.
You need to work for it.
You got it?
Gotcha. Well, you also attended the University of Missouri.
That's right.
Studied in accounting, correct?
That's right.
Why accounting?
Accounting, because it's the language of business. So I figured if I did accounting, that's so versatile. Wherever my career would go, it would be a great background for that. So with the accounting, it was the master's degree, where you get the master's in 5 years, 150-hour program. But of course, you get a lot of accounting, you get a lot of tax, you get finance, you get economics, you get marketing, you get real estate, you get so many different disciplines through that accounting background that figured it would put me in good position anywhere my career would go. And having a CPA license would always be something I could look back on and be proud of, but also always lead to opportunities if I needed to.
It sounds like a very holistic view of the business world.
It was terrific. It was a great background to start from.
That's great. Now, we have obviously a lot of prospective college students here at Chaminade. What advice do you have for students going into college, but also in college? What do they need to emphasize to set themselves up for a good career past college?
I think it's figuring out what really motivates you. I loved accounting, but I always loved investments and finance even more. And what I always like to tell folks is when you can find something that you really like, you just love doing this. It's not a job. It's not work. It's something that you just love to do, and you wake up to go do that. So my advice is find what you really like, and then that's what you need to stick with, because if you like it, if you love it, and you're that passionate about it, that's what you're going to be best in the world at for you. So find that, and it's okay to try a few things to get to that spot. But always, I like to tell folks, always be learning from everything that you're doing and taking note so that you could start narrowing down what really motivates you.
Learning from success, learning from failures, finding your passion.
All the time.
Awesome. So what was your first job out of college?
After Mizzou, came to St. Louis, worked for Arthur Andersen. It was at that point, there were the big 5 accounting firms.
Sure.
Arthur Andersen, I was a tax consultant.
Okay.
It was really enjoyed the work, and had an incredible team of the most talented people and just great people to work with. One person sticks out and familiar. There was someone that my trainer at Arthur Andersen. You might know her. Her name's Kristen. She's my wife now.
I do know her.
There you go. So something really stuck from Arthur Andersen from that perspective. But the thing was, it was just terrific work with terrific people. I was at Arthur Andersen during the Enron debacle when the whole accounting scandal where Arthur Andersen ultimately went out of business. The partner that I worked for transitioned over to PricewaterhouseCoopers. I was in the morning one day at Arthur Andersen, at lunch, turn in the computer, turn in the badge, go over to Pricewaterhouse in the afternoon. Here's your new computer. Here's your new badge. And you just keep doing the same work with the same people. So it was great transition from that. But it got to be a point where, okay, I was 2 years in. You had to have 2 years in was important because that's when you would get your CPA license. I had passed the CPA exam. You get your license after 2 years. Right around that 2-year mark, 1 week I worked 118 hours. And I was like, okay, that's a lot. 118 hours, I remember. And it was a decision point of like, gosh, do I like this that much where I want it to be all in like that? Or is this time for me to make any change? I mentioned, when I was at Arthur Andersen and Pricewaterhouse, I certainly do the work and then come home or go to the gym and watch CNBC, read the Wall Street Journal. I just loved investments. I love stocks.
You're captivated.
That's why I go to advice I give folks is when you find what you really enjoy, take that chance and go for it. So after I had the CPA license and that experience, like, okay, now's my shot. If I want to do something, now's the time to make a change. My dream job was to be a stock analyst. And, but that's typically not, you don't typically go from being a CPA to being a stock analyst. They're looking for an MBA, a valuation expert, someone that knows that industry really well, that knows markets really well. It's not typically going from a CPA directly into that. Well, a job opened up at Edward Jones in equity research. They were looking for a CPA that they could train to be a stock analyst because it was coming off of Enron. It was coming off at that point. There were other accounting scandals, WorldCom. So there was all these accounting scandals where the accounting world became a really big deal. So they were looking for an accountant that they could train to be a stock analyst. And I was like, that's my shot.
That's the perfect opportunity.
It was. So I started interviewing, took some time, and ultimately got an offer for my dream job. So moved to Edward Jones in equity research. I was a brand new associate analyst for technology stocks, software stocks, Microsoft's, Google's, IBM's, Accenture's, Oracle's of the world, helping the analysts. And Edward Jones invested a lot in me in terms of teaching me to be a stock analyst. Did the CFA Chartered Financial Analyst program and had that as well. Learned how to model companies, value companies, interview management and the leadership of the company to understand their direction, but then also understand like how much do I believe that they're actually going to do what they say and execute to the degree on that, because a stock is simply the discounted cash flow of what they're going to produce in the future. So the ability to work with leadership teams to understand where they're going, understand how good they are at executing on what they're going to say, and then you could relate that back to a stock price. The other thing was communications. To be a stock analyst, it's I had a leader that would always say, you could have the best ideas in the world. You could have the best stock picks. They could be at just the right time.
Sure.
But if you can't communicate in a clear, concise manner, your ideas that may be the best in the world, no one will ever know about them. So as much as you focus on the research side, it's important to focus on the communication side so that your ideas, others could take advantage of them and you could make the impact that you want.
Right. Yeah. You got to have excellent soft skills, maybe.
Absolutely. You have to be able to work with companies and interview their executives to understand where are they going and how much credibility do they have in that, and then be able to communicate your views in that clear, concise, insightful manner that others could take action from. And so it was a great learning experience. I thought I'd be in equity research forever. It was just that much fun. Wound up leading the technology area in equity research.
Sure.
But then was asked to move within Edward Jones to a group called Product Review. It's a group that's responsible for reviewing all investments before we make them available to our branch teams, to our financial advisors, to be able to offer and recommend to clients. So it's the due diligence on every type of investment, bonds, mutual funds, insurance, annuities, every type of investment you could think, to do the research in an impartial way to say, will this live up to client expectations? Can clients understand what they own? Because that's a really big deal and a really big part of it. Who's taking what risk and who's being compensated for what risk? Are we willing to put our reputation on the line to offer that to clients? But I was asked to come lead the fixed income research area.
Okay.
Of course, I said yes, but in my mind was stocks are fun, bonds are boring. And so went there, but what I found is just the opposite.
Really?
Bonds are so much fun, and fixed income is just as much fun, if not more insightful than the equity market, because where I might be one of 50 analysts on Microsoft, when it comes to fixed income, our group may be the only ones anywhere that's doing the credit research on that one bond. And so the ability to make a difference for an individual person that owns that one individual security is a really big deal. To know the work that you're doing makes that type of impact. So the fixed income market was fantastic. Kept learning in a different way, and also learned a different part of the market, but also got a deeper appreciation for a different part of the market.
Yeah, and you made the switch. You mentioned. What do you think that it is essential for someone in the business world's career advancement to have flexibility in that, going into an uncomfortable situation and finding something new?
Zach, always. One of the things that we think about, we call it having a growth mindset, which is the skills that someone has today, tomorrow are less relevant than they were today. A year from now are less relevant, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Think of of AI today. The skills for 2 years from now, they're just always need to be changing.
100%.
And so called a growth mindset, where you have to always be willing to put yourself in an uncomfortable spot to learn something new. And maybe it works. Maybe you say, you know what, that's actually not for me, and you go back to what you were doing. But the more I find, the more I put myself in an uncomfortable situation and just take a chance, the more I learn and grow myself. And that leads to more and more and different opportunities along the way. But it takes that growth mindset, but it also takes trust. Trust that if something doesn't work, that's okay, because you learn from it. Everything's a learning opportunity, and you learn. I always find you learn more from failure than from the good things.
It's true.
And so take that and have trust that there's always, if something doesn't work out, you know what, you learn from it and you move on to the next thing. And it's important to keep that in mind.
Awesome. Well, you were in bonds and fixed income.
Yep.
How did you get to where you are today as Chief Financial Officer?
You got it. Well, Then wound up leading all of product, the area I called product review. So all different types of investments. But then the chief accounting officer of Edward Jones was retiring. Okay. And a conversation of taking what I had learned for more than 10 years of the business of the firm and take that product knowledge and the business of it and apply that more into the accounting and the finance side of it. So asked to move over into the role of chief accounting officer to marry that original accounting knowledge with the business of the firm to bring that all together. And that was one of those where not sure it was going to work out. But we're going to take the leap of faith and know that I'll learn from it. The firm, it's a good thing to bring the business more into that area. And then, you know what, I've been in the finance area of the firm now for 12 years, led a lot of different areas in it, and wound up becoming CFO 4 years ago. And then this year, mid-year, adding on technology, the global delivery, and the investments we're making in emerging businesses. So it just continues to, the more you put yourself out there for new and different opportunities, the more you keep learning and the more you keep growing.
Sure. Yeah. That's excellent. And for our audience who may be curious, what would you say is, what does day-to-day look like? What gets you out of bed in the morning and makes you want to go to Edward Jones and serve?
Oh, absolutely. Two things there. I'll break it up the day-to-day and what gets me up and what going. The day-to-day, it's pretty structured, but there's a number of different things. There's certainly meetings one-on-one with those that I'm responsible for in the different areas. It's less about the day-to-day. It's more about what is the long-term strategy and the plans we're putting in place for that.
Right.
There's a large component of the firm overall as part of the enterprise leadership team. What is the overall strategy of the firm and what we're doing to move in those directions. There's a large piece of working with lots of different groups in the firm to help them understand our direction and the plans that we need to have in place for that. Also a big external component to represent the firm with regulators, with our clients and industry groups to keep learning and growing. There's another piece that's really important though. Any success I've had, I know it's because of others.
It's because of others.
It's because of coaches I've had, mentors I've had, people that have supported me, given me opportunities where I'm not sure I was ready. They probably were thinking, I'm not sure he's ready, but we're going to take a chance and they're going to coach and guide me along the way. And so there's a big piece of that in my role as well, of mentoring and coaching others and helping find those opportunities for others where maybe they aren't ready, but we're going to take that chance and we're going to coach and guide them along the way. So there's a big piece of it, which is coaching, developing others, which is really exciting along the way.
You want to give back to, since those above you when you were younger helped you move up, and now you want to show them.
Absolutely. And I always tell a story. There's an adage. It's called the turtle on the fence post.
Okay.
Where I know you hadn't heard that.
Yeah, I've not heard that before.
Where you can imagine yourself driving down a secluded road or a road with a lot of trees, and there's a fence with a lot of fence posts, and you're driving down and you see there's a turtle on top of a fence post, and you're like, how did that turtle get there? You know, it doesn't. Turtles don't have wings. Yeah, no. They don't climb. That turtle got there because someone put it there. Someone helped that turtle get there. That's the coaching, developing, mentoring that's so important. So I like to tell that story. Someone told to me and it really resonated, and I'd like to share that because anyone to get where they want to be, it's help from others, not just what they do to get there. And so that's why the coaching, the developing others, the mentoring, so many people have helped me. It's important that a big piece of my role is to help empower others in that same way. And that's the turtle on the fence post.
Sure.
You don't get there on your own.
That's an excellent, a very unique analogy. And on that theme of mentoring and developing, I know your son goes here.
Absolutely.
Chaminade Henry.
Yeah.
As a freshman. Want to shout him out.
There you go.
And you're someone who practices your faith as a Catholic. As we know, Chaminade College Prep is a Catholic school.
Yeah.
What do you see within Chaminade that really prepares them for the professional world, that mentors them, that guides them, that gets them ready?
There's so many different things with that. First of all, Chaminade and Estovir, to be a man, there's so much that Chaminade is thoughtful about to put into that. The things that I think are so helpful, it's taken me a while to realize of some people, especially in St. Louis, it's what school did you go to, right? I didn't go to, I'm not from St. Louis. That doesn't resonate with me, but I've always thought about the school you go to. Your success isn't defined. I always say it's not what school you go to. It's what you do at the school you go to. And Chaminade has so much available for the students to learn, grow, be out of their comfort zone, whether it's the investment club, whether it's all the different activities that are here, whether it's all the different travel and world, all the different experiences, whether it's the MLC program, the other things to help develop for the future. And I always just encourage folks to get involved. Get involved. This is one of the greatest things that Chaminade does. So many ways to get involved. And I think that helps someone well beyond the schooling. And that relates to the business world or any of their, any profession.
Well, thank you. I got to say, this has been incredibly insightful. For our audience, thank you. I know that they'll enjoy this. I greatly enjoyed this. So you did not need to spare your precious time talking with us, but we greatly appreciate it.
You got it.
So thank you.
You got it, Zach. Appreciate it. Take care.